All right, we are live today with a really good friend of mine now, Jarrod Davis from Ottawa. So excited to have this kind of like a year in review with Jarrod because, I mean, really, Jarrod, we've come a long way in a year, and
Crazy.
Jarrod has seen the light and is excited and he's pumped up, and I just wanted to get on here, Jarrod, and just kind of give people an idea. I mean, you've done some wonderful things and some great things, and you're an amazing coach, and you've been involved with so many things with us, and we're thankful to have you as one of our partners. But I just wanted to kind of talk, and give people an idea of, what does a year look like at EXP, and maybe you can give us like an idea of what your biggest takeaways have been over the past year and what you've learned, and where you're at today compared to a year ago.
As a business coach, I get to see lots of agents, whether they're single agents jumping into the business, brand new agents, all the way up to kind of big giant teams doing 7, 8, 900, even 1,000 transactions a year. And what I've learned is real estate's real estate, right? Like, I mean, no matter, and I've seen them with all different companies, and there's nothing wrong with all these companies, right? It's not about that. It's ultimately, the fact that we can do real estate anywhere, right? Like real estate, and years ago, all these companies came in, all these franchises like Remax, Keller, we could go down the list, and they convinced us as independent contractors that, hey man, we're the place to be. We've got the tools. It's all about our brand, and come on over. And what they've done is they've actually hurt the agent body in the long run, right? Because agents work so much nonstop, like 24/7. Like we've taught our industry that it's okay to work 24/7, 7 days a week. It's that expectation. And here's the truth. I mean, Pierre, you've been in the business a long time. How many like 80, 90-year-old real estate agents are working out there now simply because they don't have any retirement plan? They don't have anything to go by. So like with EXP, the one thing I learned, and again, obviously I was hesitant when joining, just like everybody was, and there's all this talk around this, but in the last year, what I've seen is, number one, you can do real estate anywhere. It's all about the tools, systems, and models, and it's all about that. And so you can do it anywhere. But here's what you can't do, and you can't create freedom anywhere. And because in real estate, we're taught to work 24/7, we're taught never, that you can't retire. Why? Because you don't have a retirement plan, and honestly, we don't teach financial management in real estate. So most real estate agents just go out and spend money, and then they get to the age where they want to retire and they realize, oh man, I just got to keep working. So what I've learned is that, why do real estate that way? Like, why? You don't have to. It's not necessary, because you can do it anywhere. And listen, I did real estate. I owned an exit franchise, right, which was rev share. Here was the challenge with exit for me, was that I still owned a franchise. I still, had to go out and pay for the building and pay for all that. And what it was a big surprise for me was, holy cow, my agents were actually making more money than I was, because I had to pay for all that stuff, right? And then I switched over to Keller Williams because I was always looking for opportunities to create a future. Keller Williams was great, but here's the deal. The level of my future was controlled by the owner, because it was based off of profit. And so, I don't want to say burned by those two models, but I looked at those two models and like, hey, like those models weren't working for me. So when I came to EXP, I was like, it's another one of those models. But here's the difference. I don't have the expense. I don't have any of that sort of stuff. All I got to do is help other people. And I if you know me, and anyone watching this who knows me knows that I'm about helping others. That's why I coach. It's what I do. I love that. So this model has been such an eye opener to me, because there's now a way to do business where I get to help somebody, not be financially responsible for their future, and help them grow and help them make money, and then help them create their future. And it's been an eye opener experience for me, as I think it has been for you over the last couple of years. You haven't been in it that long as well. So
it's been we're just over 2 years now, and I met with a couple of amazing agents this morning in my office, and I'm hearing stories of where they are in their careers, and they're burnt out, right? I mean, they're top producing agents, but they're burnt right out because they don't have leverage. They don't have, they're not diversifying themselves. They're making money one way, right? And how does that work? I'm going to sell 50 homes this year, but January 1st, I'm going to get up, and man, I got to do it all over again, right? I know for us, our profit, our business has doubled, but our profit has quadrupled.
Yeah.
And now we are making a significant amount of money monthly on residual income, right? And I've been talking with investors in the last week as well, and talking to them about, like they're real estate agents, but they're also investors. And I'm like, well, how much money do you have to put away to make $30,000 a month in residual? And they're like, well, millions, millions. Like we'd have to invest millions in the properties in order to be able to, to do that. And I'm like, well, wouldn't
And
it
it's
be
still
easier?
work.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm like, wouldn't it be easier for you to just share the idea with 10 motivated people that want to do better in life?
I
Like,
know.
isn't that easier, right? So,
But Pierre, we were taught in the business, right? Like as real estate, if you want, like there's 4 quadrants. Like if you study financial, like there's 4, what I think they call the cash flow quadrants. I think it was maybe Robert Kiyosaki teaches that, right? Like there's the job, you have a job. So most of us in real estate go, man, I don't want a job because we want the freedom. We're hard workers. We want to work for ourselves. But here's the truth. When we become independent contractors, we still have a job. We just own it. Like we just own that job. So we own the job. We still have to do it. And then we're taught as in real estate, if you want to be an investor, then you go out and you buy doors and you go out and buy as many doors. And is that a smart thing to do? Absolutely. I mean, I have rental properties and, but it's still work and it's still effort, but that's where we stop. Like that's where we stop as an industry. And like I go around and like there's real estate agents that don't even own a house.
Yeah.
Right. Let alone own multiple doors because they aren't taught how to spend money. And then there's the 4th quadrant, and the 4th quadrant is about investment. Mm-hmm. And like we don't teach investment, and we don't teach that in an industry where we really should. Why? Because in a normal job that we all wanted to get out of, they often put money aside for us. They often helped us in investing, our 401k plans or whatever that is, here in Canada, they put money aside for us for retirement. Like we all work for that, right? Like we look at the government here in Canada, everyone wants to work for the government because you get to retire. Yeah. And in real estate, we don't teach that. And so when we work for a job, they actually force us to do that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
let me ask you this. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. So I had somebody say to me recently, they said, well, you can do it because you're Pierre Nadeau, right?
Yeah.
Because I've done a lot in business and I had a big team and everything else. And they're like, you can do it because you're you, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Here's the deal. We are already working in real estate, whatever that company is, we're already there. Like, and whether it's any other franchise, independent, it doesn't matter. We're doing it. And the best part that I've learned about EXP is that doesn't change. All you've got to do is do your real estate. But here's the difference. When someone comes to you and goes, hey, Jarrod, or hey, Pierre, I noticed that you're with EXP. What do you think? And Pierre, you've worked with me on this. And I'd go, hey, it's pretty good. I'd love to share more about it. Are you interested? And they go, yeah. And then I pop them on a call with you, with me, Jay, with, all these different leaders in our industry. And you help let them know what the opportunity is. So a lot of people want to stay away from it because they go, I'm not a recruiter. Well, here's the truth. I am a recruiter, but I haven't recruited. I haven't made very much effort. And you and I have talked about that because people are just interested when they see opportunity and they see people like you're a perfect example. When they see somebody like, I remember like when you had to take down your sign off of your building and put EXP up. And that's not an easy thing to do after as many years in the brand that you built. Right. And for you, when that happened, people went, whoa, I do need to talk to Pierre about that. And so people will do that with you. And it's not your job necessarily to go out and recruit them. You have a world around you that's going to benefit if they help you. And that's such an important part in this business. And you're doing it anyway.
We're you know what? Some of the best people in our industry, they're not recruiters, they're attractors, right?
Yeah.
And we have some people in our organization that have never made a single call to an agent, and all of a sudden, people are just, it's like, how do you like EXP? And it's no different than the conversations that we had before. Hey, how do you liking it over at Remap?
Yeah.
How you liking it at KW? How are things there, right? Because we're always wondering what's happening somewhere else, and is the grass greener somewhere else, right? So, like when we made the move, we weren't looking to make a move. We were happy, we were good. But I believe that people make moves not because they're having pain, but because they want to be better. right?
Yeah.
And if you're better, what do you got to do? If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So unless you change, the vehicle that you're using to get there, you're just going to keep getting the same thing, the same crap you've always been getting, right? So, um, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to be in business with guys like you, right? And we've got some pretty exciting stuff going on right now.
We
And
do.
it's going to be some pretty awesome, exciting news coming down the
Coming
pipes
up.
here the next few months.
Yep.
And you've been working on some big things, and it's all coming together, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to benefit everybody. And the fact that you're such a good coach and you're so helpful with the people within your organization, I mean, that's powerful right there, that you offer your services to help people. I think the biggest difference is, like, I don't know about you, but when I was at my previous company, Royal LePage, I had a lot of friends there, and I liked the company. I at the time I didn't think anything bad about it, right? But I knew that when I walked into my office, the door was shut, and I wasn't there to help other people, right? Now we have this culture shock of everybody trying to help each other grow because we're all financially aligned to work together, right? And I know we're talking to some, a pretty big group for you, and they're like, well, you can help us, like you need to help us, like, can you help us grow? And I'm like, that's how it works.
That's what we do.
This is
what you and I do. It's what we do.
It's what we do now, right? And I'll tell you, I mean, for my business, we went from when we say quadruple our income, that's significant.
Yeah.
In 2 years, that's significant, right? We were doing 300 deals a year before, like 275 to 325. This is what would happen. We'd have a good year, then we'd have a bad year because everybody would quit and go work somewhere else, right? Running a team. And that was a pain in the ass too, because now you had to retrain a whole bunch of people. Then you get somebody making them 150 grand a year. Then guess what? They go work somewhere else, right? Because they could do it cheaper. And that was the problem with the traditional team models. Now we just keep adding people and adding people and adding people. And it's been a really good roller coaster ride, really.
I was listening to Matthew McConaughey the other day on a podcast he was doing, and he talked about culture being the umbrella over everything. Like, the culture is the umbrella. And, I came from a couple of cultures that weren't healthy at the top. And when they're not healthy at the top, that always trickles down. And the truth is, in exactly what you said, is it's so important to surround yourself with the right group when you're coming into EXP to get with that, because we have such an amazing, helpful group. That nobody goes unnoticed. There's nobody there that is not being supported and helped at the level that they want to be supported and helped at. And it's because we've brought together a group of great leaders. And for me, I live by who I surround myself with is who I will become. And it's why I pick and choose carefully who I'm with. And here's the truth. I exit away from people who I don't. And in EXP, it's been such an amazing culture, not just locally, like with you and some of the people, but, expanding all around the world. But North America, some of the events we've gone to, everybody just wants to help everybody, no matter where you are. Such a relaxed feeling when you know that you're in that environment, right? Because a lot of people fear EXP because they go, oh, I'm by myself, I don't have an office, I don't have someone there. And it is the complete opposite of that. There's always, especially in today's world, when you and I are in different places face to face doing this, right? Like, it's different world, and it's so different than people's mindsets, right? And again, it's a company that says, hey, you can do real estate here. We want you to do real estate and be super successful as a real estate agent. But over on this side, here's 2 opportunities for you. Just doing your job is going to give you the investment aspect of the 4 quadrants. We're going to give you stock. We're going to give you all of that. And there's so many naysayers out there. Matter of fact, it was, your son, who's how old's Pat? Like 26, right? I mean, and how many 26-year-olds out there own stock that's worth what Pat has now? And you know how Pat got that? From doing his freaking job. That's it. From being a really good real estate agent. And he's 26. So EXP now forces that on you in a good way to get stock, because they give it to you, and that creates your future. And then they also give you the opportunity, because I think a lot of people got this mindset around EXP. I'm not a recruiter, and EXP actually doesn't want you out there recruiting. They don't want you out there chasing people down. And I think that's a big misconception. I think because of the way it was launched in the very beginning, or the way it came out. But they don't want that. They want you to go out and be successful and have people come to you and go, tell me your story.
Yeah.
Right. And so when that happens, You can call me, my number's there. You can call Pierre's number's there, and say, hey, I need help. I got someone who's interested. I don't know what to do. I'm not a recruiter. Help us. And it benefits us to make that happen.
Yeah.
And it just happens naturally. How? From doing exactly what you're doing right now at the company you're with. You just have to be willing to change. And like you said,
changing a model. So you're just changing a model, right? Like you're finding a different vehicle, right? Like Al Stasic's, saying is, you have a choice to take. You got to go to Vancouver today. You want to take a Ferrari? You want to take a bike, right? So pick your Ferrari, pick your vehicle that's going to get you there. And instead of having one stream of income, we have 3 or 4 different streams of income, and so you can do. And I had this great conversation with this lady today. She's a superstar, rock star agent. She's amazing, and her biggest issue was, she doesn't have enough time, right, for her family. And here we are with the opportunity, and you just want to help these people, and you just want to let them know everything that because it's going to help them, right?
But that's the excitement. You want to see the light. Like for me, it took me 3 or 4 months to see the light. And again, you've played a crazy important role in that. You've done what you've done and what you've created has made me look at it and go, man, like here's the cool thing. Like Pierre's doing it, and Pierre's a great dude, but Pierre's not doing anything right now that not anybody out there can do. Like not anybody, not me, not anybody. He's just sharing the story of success, and people are on it, and that's the best part of it. And that's all you got to like. So for me, I look at it and I go, man, like I've been in that real estate for 20 years. Pierre, you've been in it for how long?
20 years.
20 years, right? So, and we've worked our butts off over those 20 years.
Oh yeah.
For what? Like I laugh, but it's true. Like, 10 years ago when you were doing it, how many rounds of golf did you play? How many rounds of golf are you playing now? Like
we did over 80 this year.
Yeah.
Right? I used to play 2 or 3 times a year, and I was frustrated as all hell because I wasn't any good, because I didn't have that consistency to go out and do it. And now, I think that's important, right? Because there's a lot of agents out there that are working their asses off. They're very hungry. They're good, but they have no life, right? Their life at home isn't good. Their health isn't good. They're not doing the things that they'd like to be doing, and their stress level is high, right? Yeah. Because you have to keep working. And if you sell 50 homes this year, you got to wake up January 1st and do it all over again. You're on this hamster wheel. So why wouldn't you create yourself some residual income, some savings and stocks, all these exciting things that are going? Glenn Sanford's a genius. I mean, he's an absolute genius to come up with this model, because you know what he did? You got to speak with him in Dallas as well. But when we were talking to him, I mean, when you think about where he's come from to now, but his whole vision when he did this was, what are the pain points that real estate agents have? And let's try to come up with a model that fixes those pain points, right? One of the biggest pain points, real estate agents don't save money. For the most part, they don't save money because they're not making enough that they can live a lifestyle that they want and go out and save money. So we fix that with the stock. Then, okay, what do we do for retirement? We don't have retirement, right? So now all of a sudden we've got revenue share that we can create. I mean, I could probably retire right now on what I'm making in revenue share, but do I want to do that? No. And then, what are the other pain points, right? So he tried to fix all these things. Now, I'm not going to say the model's perfect, but man, he sure came up with a lot of solutions for a lot of our problems.
Yeah. And it's from doing the same thing. No different than like the Ferrari and the bike. Like if you needed to go from where you are right now across Canada, would you want to ride a bike, or would you want to get on a high-speed train, right? It's the exact same. It's the exact same place, exact same rules, exact same game, just done differently. But you got to be willing to kind of go, okay, I got to be willing to make the change. And change is uncomfortable for anybody. But here's the truth. If you don't change, you stay the same. And if you stay the same, you're going to work your ass off until you're 80 years old, 90 years old. And then you look back on life and you go, I just wanted freedom. Like I like right now, that's my big thing. I coach because I wanted freedom, and I have a family. I love to do fun things. Like I'm an experienced guy. Like I love my family to go experience things. And what I found in real estate is I was always held back from making that move. I was always held back from doing things because I had this closing coming up, or this showing coming up, or this listing coming up, or I had a team to run, and they couldn't do it without me, right? Because that's the common mindset, right? So, here's the deal. And like you said, right now you could probably retire on what you're making, and you didn't you didn't recruit that many people that
No,
was a
no,
retirement. It's
actually,
just
I didn't at all, actually. So that's the great part. Now, a whole bunch of them are coming on here shortly, but listen, we're both excited. We're both fired
yeah,
up. We both, we both see the vision and what's happening with this company. I mean, the conversation we're having now compared to 2 years ago is completely different for me because I can show people, look what
yeah,
it's done for us. Look what it's done for all the people in our organization. Look what it's done for Jarrod Davis. Look what it's done for all these amazing people that we've partnered with. But listen, Jarrod, if somebody wants to know more about EXP, right, what do they do next?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, we have tons of, again, my number's right there, 613-668-6742, Jarrod Davis, coach@gmail. Pierre's number's there. Here's the truth. You got to reach out and you got to take that step to learn more, right? Like, I mean, you've got to open your eyes. Like you said to someone, like, once I remember you saying this, once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. And once you saw it and you didn't want to unsee it, you went, man, you didn't sleep for nights and you didn't, and it just rolled around in your head. And listen, there's like with independent companies, they go, how can I recreate this? And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't want to recreate it. Once now that I've learned it and I've taken time to see it. So you got to be open-minded enough, just to learn about it. Like no one, like just because you call us or talk to me about it, I'm not going to pressure you. I don't like whether you join or not. I'm not attached to that outcome. I just want you to have the information because now I see the path to financial freedom, and I didn't see that. Like when I was in real estate, I really truly didn't see that. I saw the harder I work, the more I save, the better off I'll be in the long run. And now I see the path of continuously making money, and not having to work near as hard, spending more time.
Well, you know what? That's it right there, folks. Jarrod, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure talking with you. I appreciate you. You're a great guy, and you're doing great things. And I can't wait to be spending some time with you in Vegas. And
yes,
we're gonna have we had a great time in Dallas. Now we're gonna have a great time in Vegas. So
we are. And thanks, Pierre. Thanks for your leadership and pushing me into this because I appreciate you. And now before I liked you, now I love you. Right. So, all right, brother. Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a great day, guys.